Alright guys, Epic here, and today I want to talk to you about the gear talents and weapon talents, the changes that have happened in the PTS 1.4 update, and just discuss with you the main ones I think that are really important and are worth a mention. Okay, so let's firstly talk about your gear talents. Alright, let's talk about Reckless, because I'm sure anyone who has a chest loves Reckless. It was fairly overpowered. Before I carry on here, I do want to mention though, guys, this isn't set in stone, okay? This is just the PTS patch notes, and these can change, okay? So, as I said, with Reckless, until now, you would normally get between 5 to 15% damage dealt to you, and, you would deal, 5 to 15% damage to an enemy, and you would take in 10%. Okay, so if you're dealing 15 and taking in 10, you can see why the Reckless piece was a sought after item and why a lot of people used it. In the new update, however, they have changed it to you deal 15% more damage and receive 15% more damage, which is a big change. Ultimately, PvE wise, I don't think much is going to change. It's still going to be a very good talent. You will be dealing more damage than the NPCs are normally dealing to you, so it's still going to work very well for you. PvP, however, you might find it works against you quite a lot, so I like the change. I do like the change. Now, the other piece of or the other gear talent that comes to mind straight away is Savage on gloves. You have to have Savage on gloves, or you had to have Savage on gloves up to this day, just because of the amount of extra DPS they can give you. Now, the changes they are making are your critical hit chance is increased by 10% against targets out of cover. So up until now, it normally dropped between 5 and 15%. I think on my character, I'm sitting at 14%. So that's going to drop down to 10. It's not a massive change. It is a change, and it is kind of a nerf. But it's a nerf buff, depending on what character you've got. But I'm glad that they've just got a set amount. You know, if you're getting Savage, you don't have to worry about how much it is or blah, blah, blah. It's 10%, that's it. And I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Now, one honourable mention I want to talk to you guys about in the... especially in the gear set talents, or the gear talents, is the talent Decisive. So in the new patch notes, it says headshots with your sidearm deal 35% more damage, and that's instead of sort of 10 to 25%. I think that's a massive increase on your headshot damage with sidearms, and I think that actually makes sidearms a viable option, especially in PvE and PvP, to be honest. I think my one at the moment has a base of about 14k base damage, so 35% extra damage to the head. That's significant. If you can hit those headshots, you're going to be doing a lot of damage, and I really think that's a very good talent. Let's move on to weapons. So when it comes to weapons, they're obviously everyone's favourites. Let's talk about Brutal and Deadly, because if you've got a weapon, you almost definitely have Brutal or Deadly. That's what you're rolling for most of the time, and then you just have your other ones. So, Brutal, let's start with that one. So, the new patch says plus 12% headshot damage with this weapon. So, that's instead of 10 to 25%. Obviously, 25% is massive, so it's cut in half. Again, it's kind of a nerf, but I'm glad they're bringing it out, because Brutal was one of those talents you had to have. You just had to have, and this kind of brings it down to everyone, you know, more sort of reasonable. It's more fair and it's more balanced than being like the overpowered talent. And that's the same with Deadly. Plus 15% critical hit damage, and that's instead of 5 to 30%. So if you're getting, you know, unfortunately, if you've got a Brutal talent with 25% and Deadly with 30%, it's going to be a massive nerf. However, if you're on the lower end of the scale, then it's going to be a bit of a buff. But they did need to be balanced, because they were by far the most overpowered in the division. So I don't want to go over every single talent, because there's so many. I'll leave a link below for you. But I think those are the main ones that people need to know about, and the ones that people really want to, you know, see what's happening are. There are some sort of I wouldn't say honourable mentions, but there are some ones that are certainly big changes. For example, Sustained, which is plus 6% life on kill, and that's instead of 1 to 6%, so that's on the higher end, and Sustained's a very good talent in my opinion. I do want to mention, however, that with most of the talents that have changed, they are going, if there's like a, say, you know, between 25 and 60%, and that's the sort of gap it drops, normally it is the higher end that they're going for, which is good to know. Most of the time it is buffs they're actually making as opposed to nerfs, which I'm really happy about. With obviously with the most overpowered ones, they are going in between. So I'll leave the link below, guys. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the changes. Read through the notes and leave notes and comments and let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.